Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Molly Richardson. I'm the founder of Totally Infused, and I'm coming out with a new product called Freakin' Fast Funnels, which you may have heard of. And today I'm here to talk to you about how you can quickly and easily automate your sales funnel to earn about 3 to 10 qualified leads per day. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Florida. I moved up to Indiana for college, and now I'm in Huntsville, Alabama. I love sports, football, soccer, pretty much anything that's fun and outdoors. So I'm always into fast action and taking things by the horn. So we're going to go ahead and get started into the content since I'm cool, but this is even cooler. And I'm going to show you my 5-minute plan to a marketing strategy. And what this is going to help you do is in 5 minutes, I want you to be able to plan out your strategy on how you're going to get people into your funnel, through your funnel, and purchasing your larger ticket items. That is the goal of today's session. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot them in the chat box, in the question box. Give me a little background on the question because I'm not going to get to them until the end because I can't have them both open at the same time. So I'll get to the questions at the end, but feel free to drop them in there as they come up in your mind because I know you might forget them along the way. So what exactly is a funnel? The first thing a funnel is like when you pour water or some liquid into another object. You use a funnel. And what that does is it takes a big audience and it brings it into the final, which is the product. So in terms of marketing, we take your audience from social media, your local area, or just traditional media, and you create leads through email captures or opt-in forms on your website or on different social media platforms. And then you nurture those leads by sending out great content, give them some freebies, really just provide useful and valuable information to them so you gain rapport and they listen to you. And then going into your products, if you have a larger ticket item, you typically want to have a smaller ticket item that will help you gain people's trust. And then once you sell that larger ticket item, you want to flip it over and start over with those same customers because once they've spent money with you, they're probably going to spend money with you again. So it's almost like an hourglass. So once it goes all the way through, you flip it over and you start over again. And you want to grow your email list. And that's something that's I'm sure you've heard of in a lot of different webinars if you've been on them. So the first thing that you want to do is actually the bottom part of the funnel. You want to determine what the final thing you're going to create and provide to your customers is. And you want this to be a value. You want this to solve a problem for your customers. So the couple of things you need to determine are your delivery strategy, which would be how you're going to deliver the content. And how they're going to consume the content is important as well. So a 4-week program is one option, and then a 3-day boot camp is another option. So those are just two different time frame type strategies for delivering the content. And then you can do audio, video, and you can also blog and do like training that's more text based. But audio and video are the two that are definitely growing in popularity. So the next thing you want to determine is your time frame. You want to know when you're hosting your webinars. You want to know when you're launching, and you want to know kind of on average when you want to start and stop your sales. So if you're doing a live webinar or live program, there's got to be a pencils down date for people to sign up. And then you want to set up your pricing. So for example, my course that's coming out is $379 for the whole course, and then it's $999 for VIP, which is time with me. So once you set up all of this framework, you can begin to drive people into this funnel through the proper channels. The first things first is to bring people in from social media and all of those good resources is getting a lead capture, is getting their emails by giving them something of value. So a free report or an ebook, doing a live webinar like I'm doing today, or even doing a video series, which is very popular, and it's something some of the bigger name people in the industry are doing, like Marie Forleo. And webinars are, like I said, webinars are really hot right now. And if you have a video series, you really got to focus on the video quality and the audio quality of that video, because that's where the professionalism is going to come across, and that's what's going to make people trust you and purchase your product online. So finding the right traffic. If you don't have an email list right now, you really need to start getting one. And as you gain fans and followers on all the different social media platforms, find a way to give them something of value, but it gives you their email address, or they give you their email address as a measure of trust. So then you have a list. So when you have more to give, you can just go ahead and give it to them rather than trying to reach back out to them on social media. And you can run Facebook ads, which is paid, and then you can do organically. You can reach out to through your Facebook page, different Facebook groups, and even on your own personal profile. You can use Twitter, any other social media sites. Twitter is the one that's been the most popular for me recently, and any type of affiliates. So if I was selling a product, excuse me, I could get a couple people in the industry to get it early, look at it, and if they really like it, they can sell it to their followers, which gives you a much larger reach and audience for your product or program. So the problem with most funnels is there's typically a gap between the free lead capture and your higher ticket item. And I mentioned this a little bit earlier, where you want that smaller ticket item. So something along the lines of like $10 to $50, some type of longer length ebook, an audio, just special training that's specifically for them. But it's not free, but it's not a crazy, enormous price like a couple $100. So that's not necessarily saying that's enormous, but stepping them along the lines of your funnel, you want to step up the pricing. The purchase. So your customer is going to purchase your product or program once they've come through this. And the idea is to optimize this as much as you can so that when people are coming in as leads, you're keeping them throughout the process. You don't want to lose people. You are obviously going to lose people throughout the process when the pricing gets higher. But you want to survey your customers so you know what they're expecting, what they're wanting, so that you can offer them the most bang for their buck. And that's what's going to help you get higher conversions. You want to continually update any product or program that you have, and you want to offer other types of products like add-ons or extras. So for instance, for my freaking fast funnels, it's very broad as far as the funneling is concerned, as far as that is concerned, but there are going to be some add-ons and extras where you can purchase them for lead pages or optimized press, and that gives you the specifics for each of the different software networks or platforms. And then you want to promote your coaching programs and done-for-you services once they've purchased your evergreen or live program, because that's what's going to keep you having passive income continuously. Well, I guess, yes. And then, so we're going to get into Facebook real quick here. And with Facebook ads, you can really drive a lot of traffic into your funnel through your lead captures. And the best way to do this is with the website conversions. That is my recommendation, because that's going to drive the traffic to your landing pages and place a conversion pixel and take them to your thank you page with a conversion pixel. What that means is when somebody clicks on the Facebook ad, they sign up for what you're offering, they go to that page, and then that triggers within Facebook a conversion. And then you can tell exactly how much it costs per conversion. So for a webinar, a $2 to $5 conversion rate is pretty good. So when you're getting those kind of numbers, you know, if I convert this number of people and this many sales, then it's worth putting the money into Facebook ads. If you're not converting at a high rate, if it's too expensive, then it might not be worth it for you to be doing those ads. And you got to look at your profit margin on that. And then the reason why you don't want to do page likes for bringing people into your funnel is that's just going to get them to like your page on Facebook, which is important because you want to have social proof. But for driving them into your funnel, once they click like, they're probably on to the next thing. And then website clicks is a good option, an alternative if you cannot get that conversion pixel on your thank you page, which I'm actually going to show you how to do a little bit later. And with website clicks, it just tells you when somebody clicks on your ad to go to your website, which does drive people towards your funnel, but not necessarily into. For Facebook posts, this is more organic reach, although this is a suggested post. I use this picture because I think it's a great way to show a couple of things that are really important with your posts. you really want to have an eye-catching image that's going to stand out in the newsfeed. There's lots of images in the newsfeed today, so you really need to have something that stands out. And having that up to 50% off throws in your bargain, throws in just a little bit of something different than what they're used to seeing. You want to have this, for example, is a link. And so you want to have that go directly to a landing page or directly to where that sale is. You do not want that to go just to your domain, because you're going to lose people when they get there. They're going to be like, wait, that's not what I was clicking on. And they're going to get confused, and they're just going to go right back to where they were on Facebook. And you want the content to be super easy to read, brief, to the point, and a very clear call to action. So save up to 50% off beach hotels. Deals end tonight. So clear call to action. Do it by the end of tonight and you get that deal. So if you use this type of posts and you post things that people are really getting engaged on, you're going to drive traffic to your website. And you're going to get, and the more traffic you get, obviously the more people are going to be falling into your funnel. Organically, that is. Now, I mentioned earlier, Twitter is my everything right now. I used to be a very big advocate of Facebook, and I still am. But with what I've been doing on Twitter recently, it's been huge, and it's a great way, and you get way more reach than you do on Facebook. And Facebook's getting a little bit stringent on their reach. So you want to post about 10 times a day or more, about every hour or so, and you want to share content from around the web. So you want to have about an 80-20 rule. So 20% of your own content and 80% of great content you found from around the web. And you want to retweet and favorite other good content you find on Twitter as well. And the last thing, but definitely the most important, is follow followers of brands or people that your target audience would follow. So for example, I would follow the followers of Infusionsoft. So I'll go into Infusionsoft on Twitter for 10 to 15 minutes. I'll go through their followers and just follow people. My criteria are they've got to have a profile picture and they've got to have a bio that has something of significance. And what I'll do is I'll go back through a couple days later on a tool that you can unfollow people who haven't followed you back. And you can just go back and unfollow the people who didn't follow you back. So for an actionable item for you to take home for today, I'd really love for you to just go out and try this. Write down how many Twitter followers you have today and go out and for 10 minutes the next week, just follow people. Just go and follow people of your influencers or software tools or whatever. And then see how much every day it grows, and you can tell which ones work better. So Monday, I might follow the followers of Infusionsoft, and then Tuesday, I might follow the followers of Optimize Press, and so on. So I can see how much it jumps every day based on who I followed. And then you can highly target who you are following the followers of. I hope that was not too confusing, but I really want you to be able to take that home with you and be able to get home, or if you're already at home, and just go and do that. And I promise you will see an increase in your Twitter followers. And this is what I saw in my Twitter followers when I started implementing this around, I want to say late February. So kind of where that little loopy thing is. I started using this strategy of posting the content, following the followers, all of that stuff. And so in the beginning of October, I only had 40 followers. And I just started posting content regularly. And that really started helping me get up into the ranks. And then this is an old slide. So I think I actually have 1,270 some followers now. And I get new leads around the world. I even have a copywriter that I'm meeting up with next week who we're going to actually work on partnering or trading services for me doing software for her and her helping me write some of my content, because I'm a techie and I'm not the best content writer in the world. I'm also not the best speaker, but I know my software. And so making a partnership like that from somebody who's in New Zealand is amazing. Like you couldn't do that 10 years ago. So Twitter is definitely the reach, and everything is definitely where I've been finding a gold mine. So here are the software tools that I want to talk to you today about. And then we're going to actually dive into some of them. There's a lot of different categories of software tools for marketing, and the main ones are email marketing, which include autoresponders, which just basically means if somebody signs up to get an ebook, it will send them the ebook for you, and you don't have to do anything. And then landing pages, obviously somebody clicks on a link, they go somewhere, and that landing page, you want to be crisp, clean, to the point. You want that to be highly optimized. And then your social media tools that you use to take advantage of all these awesome social media networks, your customer relationship management tool, which is what a CRM stands for, and your webinar software. So the first thing we're going to talk about is email marketing. MailChimp is the first one on the list. And if you're starting off, this is a great one. It's free for under 2,000 subscribers. If you're not doing autoresponders, you're just trying to capture emails. And you can still send out email blasts as well, but it doesn't automatically do emails from a sign up. And then GetResponse is another one I've heard of more recently. It also creates landing pages. I really want to try this out a little bit more. I've done research into it, but I've never actually gone into the system. And with this, it's another option. It's very similar to Aweber, which is what a lot of people use if they're not using a CRM. And this is the total package. You can set up campaigns and funnels and follow-up emails, and it's very, very detailed in there. So if you're just starting out, start out with MailChimp, have a free list for, the first couple thousand of your email subscribers, and then jump to Aweber. You can easily export your list and bring it into Aweber when you're ready, or you can just go from MailChimp to a CRM if you want to make that sort of a leap. And then if there's a link on the bottom right, that just means it's my affiliate link. And if you'd want to purchase, you can go through that link, and I'd really appreciate it. But you don't have to. No requirements there. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is landing pages. There's 3 that are pretty popular right now. There's a couple others I've heard of, but these are the 3 that in my network I've been playing around with. So Megaphone is a very simple tool. It's very much like Lead Pages, but it does have a different style and feel. As you might have noticed if you do a lot of online marketing right now, a lot of landing pages are looking the same, and that's because a lot of people are using Lead Pages. So some people are using Megaphone just to have theirs look a little bit different. And once you get to the higher end type landing pages, Lead Pages flexibility and customization settings aren't as flexible as Optimized Press. So that's when I made the leap to Optimized Press 2. And it's very customizable. There is a learning curve because there's a lot more complexity, but it also has a membership portal. So you can actually have a membership site, and it's similarly priced to Lead Pages. Actually, I think it's cheaper than Lead Pages. And that would be all I have on the landing pages. I'm going to show you Lead Pages and Optimized Press, the comparison kind of a little bit later, because I really think that that's a comparison that needs to be more shown. A lot of people don't realize the difference between them. And then social media tools, the main 2 that I use are Buffer and Hootsuite. I use Buffer for my content scheduling, and I use Feedly to curate it, which just means to find it, using RSS feeds, signing up for both subscriptions to blogs and stuff like that. But it's great for scheduling out the content around the web. I posted a video on YouTube a couple days ago, and it laid that out completely of how I do that. And you can find that. I will probably link to it in the email I send you or on the webinar replay site. And then Hootsuite is Hootsuite is amazing. You can bulk upload tweets. You can see your list and your streams. It's so dynamic, but it's also very complex. So if you're new and you're starting out, I would highly recommend just using Buffer. You can still you schedule all your tweets, do all that stuff. It's just not as complex as Hootsuite. And TweetAdder is a desktop software. It's not a web application like Hootsuite and Buffer, but it is very, very dynamic, and you can use multiple accounts, schedule out, you reuse all, like if you set up 10 tweets and you schedule them out, you can schedule them out to go every 9 to 11 minutes, and then it just rotates. So it just keeps going on and on and on. With Hootsuite, once it goes out, it's done. You got to make a new one. With TweetAdder, if you make that list and you grow it, it will continually just keep going through those tweets. And then Sprout Social is a great tool as well. It has very good reporting, but it's a little bit pricey, so that's why I don't use it. I did a trial of it, and I did like it, but pricing-wise, I had a lot of other tools that I needed to pay for, and I could get what I needed to get done with Hootsuite and Buffer, so I didn't purchase Sprout Social. And then Moz is another great software. It's mostly based for SEO, but it has a lot of social media integrations into it. It is also pricey. I think it's about $100 a month. Sprout Social, I think, is maybe 30 or 40 a month. And then customer relationship management tools. I'm not going to get too heavy into this right now, just because there are a lot of them out there. The most common one is Infusionsoft, and that's the one I use. I consult for it. I help people set up their funnels, their campaign sequences, their tagging, all that good stuff in there. There's Constant Contact, Sugar CRM, Marketo, which is mostly B2B. It's also very pricey. Salesforce is reasonably priced. I've never used it. And then there was another one I had heard of. Entreport. Yeah, Entreport is the other one I didn't put on this slide, but it is also a little bit more B2B, but I haven't really played into it, so I can't really speak too heavily on its comparison with Infusionsoft. But I'm biased. I like Infusionsoft, so yeah, go Infusionsoft. And last but not least, your webinar software. So if you're doing free webinars to drive people into your funnel, you want to use a tool that makes it easy. So I'm using GoToMeeting, and simply because that integrates so well with things like lead pages and optimized press. And so when somebody goes to my login or my opt-in page, when they sign up, it goes directly into my Infusionsoft account. Your information does. And then your information also goes to GoToMeeting to send you the email reminders out. And I actually don't like to send out many email reminders, but I let GoToMeeting do it because their email is like guaranteed to go through or go out. Whereas with your own emails, they might not go through due to certain regulations or junk email requirements. And then the other options are Google Hangouts, Webinar Jam, Webinars on Air. Those are all based on Google Hangouts. Webinar Jam and Webinars on Air are two different tools that utilize Google Hangouts, but they give you easy ways to answer questions and all that good stuff. So it's a little bit more dynamic than Google Hangouts on Air, which is free, but Webinar Jam and Webinars on Air are paid software platforms. And 22 Social is completely within Facebook. It's awesome though, because you can do a weekly webinar and it just stays on that same page. So every week they go to that same page on your Facebook and they can watch your webinar, and they can comment on the bottom of that page, and you can track that easily as well. So I'm going to jump into the demos for lead pages and stuff, because that is where the meat of this is going to be. And I did not do this in my first webinar last week, so you're getting kind of a nice little sneak peek of how I do things. So first thing is, whenever you're setting up your funnel, you want to create the conversion pixel for, like, if they're signing up for your the training session or whatever, you got to create a conversion tracking pixel. And this is how you do it. You just simply say create a pixel, you give it a name, so demo pixel. You pick a category. This doesn't necessarily matter what it is. It's just for your records. So I'm going to do checkouts. So if you put this on, once they've checked out, they go to a receipt or a thank you page, then you would put it on that checkout page. So we're going to create the pixel, and then you take this and you copy it. I'll right click and show you the copy instead of the Command C. And then you take that and you put it on your thank you page. So if I went to my lead pages, I'm going to use lead pages first, and I go to my thank you page that I've created in here, and I go to edit this. In lead pages, there is a tracking code section, and you just easily paste it in here. I already have the one that's in there, so I'm not going to paste this one in, but this is where you would paste that. And it's super simple. This was the thank you page you went to once you've signed up for this webinar. And so that's how I know when I put out ads, I know if people are converting because they've gone to this page. So I'm going to go back out and show you the basics of a normal landing page. So this is the landing page that you all signed up for this webinar. And here are all the different things, but really it's just point and click, point and click, point and click, change the date, point and click, change the time. This is a complete template that was laid out for me, and all I have to do is point and click and change the text. You can also go into style settings, and this is where you change all of the colors. And you want to make sure you hit OK when you changed them. Otherwise, sometimes it will not save. The dynamic controls what this counts down as. And in preview, it doesn't, or in this editor, it doesn't show it. And it would be 0 anyway because we're on it. But it would be there. And I'm going to close that. And then going back, now you can also put in your SEO settings. So I have, what shows up on the top of the page, what the description is. So this is what's important for when you're pasting this page into Facebook and what shows up as the title and the description of those pages. And lastly, the opt-in form. This is where you do your integration settings. There's a different section in lead pages where you set up your integrations, but once they're set up, you just come in here and you pick the ones. And so you signed up for Infusionsoft funnel webinar registration. I also integrated it with GoToWebinar, and that sent it to both of my software networks. So now you're in everywhere I need you to be. And I'm going to actually look and see if I have any questions before I keep going. No questions. All right. If you have questions, I am watching it kind of little by little. All right, so the next thing I'm going to show you is Optimize Press. So this is the back end of my Totally Infused website. And Lead Pages has this plugin that comes in here, and you can easily create these pages. So once I've created it in Lead Pages, I can come in here and create the page that goes off my URL. And that's how Lead Pages integrates with WordPress. And with Optimize Press, it's all, I have the Optimize Press theme, but if you have the plugin, it's very similar to this. And you just come in here and you can create a page with this, and you can set up your blog settings. But the most important thing in your dashboard is your your email marketing services. And this is where you integrate. So I've integrated my Infusionsoft, and I actually haven't integrated my GoToWebinar yet because I've been using Lead Pages for my webinars. But this is where you would, an Office Autopilot is Ontraport that I was talking about earlier. And this is where you could integrate your Aweber and your MailChimp and all of that good stuff. And then once you've created pages, you can come in here and they're actually pages in your WordPress theme. They're not like separate pages in Lead Pages. They are in your WordPress theme. So I can come in here and I made this page, and now I have Live Editor. And so I'm able to come in, open this, and it's so dynamic. I can add rows, I can add columns, I can add anything I want to this page. So if I add a row, I can pick how I want it spaced out. Now that I have that, I can add an element, and I have a million options to choose from: video, Facebook comments, feature box, file download, guarantee, headline. I mean, it's very, very dynamic. And so that is why Optimize Press is a little bit harder to learn, because there's a lot more settings, but it gives you a lot more flexibility in creating your pages. So I'm gonna not save that. And then when you want to start a page, you just go to Optimize Press, Page Builder, and it gives you this really awesome 4-step process for creating the page. Makes it super easy. So those are my demos of the differences between Lead Pages and Optimize Press. And I'm trying to fly through this because if you join any of my groups or you do anything with me, like, I can really dive into the software more with you. But last time people were like, you talked about the software, but I didn't get to see it. So I really wanted to show you how they differ if you've never seen them before. So Optimize Press you can only use when you're in WordPress. It's a WordPress only. And then with Lead Pages, you can do that off anything. You can actually, if you go to publish this, you can do it, and this page right here actually shows the page. So you don't even have to have your own domain name. You can just send people to this link, and they can sign up for your webinar, and you don't even have to have a website. So that's why this one is really awesome. And you can easily add it to your Facebook page. So if you've got a Facebook page for your business, this is a great integration as well. So I'm gonna hop on back to the slides. I'm looking, nobody has any questions? How's it going so far? Am I going too fast, too slow? Okay. And the last thing I want to talk about is if this is all over your head and you have no idea, I really want to help you get started and learn this if you want to learn this. And so if you're looking for some hand-holding and guidance, I've started Infusion Lab. And this is just it's a mastermind of people who are wanting to learn more about the software tools that are out there. There's going to be weekly Google Hangouts. Well, there are weekly Google Hangouts. I have some exclusive training that I'm creating. There's video and content that I'm not publishing on the internet, mostly because there's some content I don't want to share because it's so good that if somebody else knows what I'm doing, it's going to hurt what I'm doing. And then definitely the networking. It's going to be a group. It's not going to be one of the groups where the Facebook group is not going to be one where you're going to say, oh, I'm doing a webinar, sign up. And I'm going to be like, no, that's spam, because that's just dumb. It's a group. It's meant to collaborate, help people out, jump on other people's webinars, give them feedback. It's really going to be a great group once it gets rolling. I'm going to Infusionsoft the Infusionsoft conference next week, and I'm going there with the intention of filling out and completely selling out on this Infusion Lab. And I just want it to be a group that helps you learn what software tools you need to create your marketing funnels. There's a lot of words out there. There's a lot of tools out there. There's a lot of pricing out there. And sometimes with your budget, you've got to play smart with what softwares you choose. And then you also get, obviously, the best part of it is you get 2 free 30-minute sessions with me a month. So, we're in the lab, you're learning things, you're flying through things, but then you get stuck and you're like, oh my God, I don't know how to do this. I've been trying for 3 hours. It's like, all right, schedule a time with Molly. Let's get this cranked out. Let's get it done. No more getting stuck, because that's one thing I've found is a really big problem in why people aren't sharing more content and selling more products. And so the last thing is I'm in the process of creating my freaking fast funnels, and it's coming out in May. It's basically a 4-week program where you're going to learn how to go from no funnel to a completely done funnel with the software in between. Now, depending upon your budget, you're going to have to pick different softwares, but you're going to have step-by-step guidance on a little bit of what we've talked about here over level, but it's going to help you with your naming, your branding, your pricing, how you're going to give your content. It's going to help you learn more about how to drive people in with demos and, all that good stuff. And then at the end, it's going to show you the really good part is the optimization of your funnel, because it's great once you've set it up, and I'm all about setting things up really, really fast. But once it's set up, you want to find the holes and you want to plug them, because the more you can do that and the higher you can get your conversion rates, the better you're going to get people in and out of your funnel, and obviously make more money and spend less time doing all of this, the setup, and worrying about things that fell through the cracks. So that is coming out in May, like I said earlier. And I'm running a birthday special because I turned 25 on the 25th. And so I'm selling it for $197 instead of the going rate of $397. And that includes 4 weekly webinars. So you'll go through the programs spaced out throughout the week. You can do it all in one day. You can do it, an hour a day. It's flex for you, because I know a lot of people have full-time jobs. They're doing other things. But the idea is that at the end of the week on Thursday, you're going to come into the webinar, whether you've gone through the training, you've kind of skipped around in the training, but you're going to come in there and you're going to learn even more. You're going to be able to ask questions. You're going to be able to hear what other people are doing. And it's just going to be a great group going through this funnel process. And you can go ahead and purchase that today. It's live. The landing page is on Freaking Fast Funnels and freakingfastfunnels.com. And I would love to have you in there. And if I had this on my last slide, but if you sign up for Infusion Lab, I'm doing a special where if you pay for the quarterly Infusion Lab, the early access, which is, you're in the first bunch of people that are in Infusion Lab, I'm going to give you freaking fast funnels. So if you think $197, $400, you kind of weigh that on your 3 months ahead, and you can figure out which one is best for you. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. It's molly@totallyinfused.com. You guys know me on Facebook. I'm on Twitter all the time. So if you have any other questions, shoot them in the chat box. Otherwise, I'm done with you for today. And I really hope I'm able to help you in the future, because that's what I'm here for. If you give me a problem, it's a challenge, and I will take it and I will figure out the solution for you. And that's how I roll. So if anybody has any questions, I'm going to leave it open for a couple minutes here. Also, while I'm waiting for people to type in, I'm going to go ahead and show my Google Analytics. And this is how I tell if, this is the nuggets for the people who hang on. If I can tell where people are coming from in my Google Analytics. So I track who goes to my thank you page, and I can tell where they're coming from. So if it was a social, it was a yes, and so that's 38. So about 65%, I'm around, come from social sources. The other are directly to my website just by typing it in or organically. And then I can also come in here and I can say, how did I get it? And I'm going to switch to source and medium, which is going to show me which networks, and this is over the month of April, this is which networks they came from. So 22 came directly in. These came from Facebook. These came from mobile Facebook. So you can see these are pretty dead even, which is actually surprising. Sometimes it's highly mobile. And then I think, I'm not really sure what the L is, to be quite honest. I mean, I will research that. And if you're really interested, ask me later and I will know. And then 3 came from Twitter. So that's just a great way to kind of see where your best tracking is coming from, or your best conversions are coming from. And if you have any other questions, shoot me an email, find me on Twitter. I will answer them as soon as possible. And I hope I can help you later on in the future with Infusion Lab or Freaking Fast Funnels, or if you need something done for you, just shoot me an email with what you're looking to get done and I'll shoot you a quote back. So I hope this was informative. Take action. Go follow some people on Facebook of people that follow your other followers. That's really confusing and hard to say, but I think I got it across. All right. You guys have a great evening. Go spend some time with your family. Have a great night.